Hi, folks. I'm Nick Tockert with the Historical Fencing Guild. And before we get into the goodies, let's talk about how we're keeping the lights on. And I'm going to ask you while I do this to please like, share, and subscribe. The Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you first and foremost by The Simple Sword and The Fighting Axe, both available through Amazon at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Stockert. I'm also made possible by my amazing Patreon members who it'll scroll by. We'll talk about them, and I'm going to start adding them to the feed around here because they deserve all the props in the world. I couldn't do what I do with what I have without their generous support. Now, I know I'm looking a little confined here. I left that up. I'm not sure. Tell me if you guys like it or if you want the full screen zoom in of yours truly. Not many people in the house tonight, and that is okay. We've got Foxy in first again. Yes, you are, but you're first in the door and never last in our heart. Quickly joined by Cindy Cap at www.ckoepp.com. Hi, Cindy. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful evening. I am feeling a little boxed in, so let's see if we can't do something about that. Because this show really requires a little bit of room. Feels so much better. Hello, Cameron, Christopher, Wayne. Welcome to the Historical Fencing Guild's live stream where we talk about swords and shenanigans. Oh, you got notifications as soon as I went live. That's wonderful. Usually the notifications don't go out until nearly an hour. Alrighty, folks, we've got a bit of news, a bit of awesomeness, and potentially some real awesomeness if we can get down the line. So, first off, how's everybody doing? Hit me up in the chat. Tell me how everything is, because we like it, chat. It's a little more mellow here, at least starting out. Now, there's no warning when my brother Love Nature will take over and move my spirit. These things happen. But we got a bit to talk about. First off, the simple spear. The simple spear has been the bane of my existence. I love this book, don't get me wrong. I'm writing this book. But it felt like the editing suddenly went a weird direction. I couldn't figure out what happened. What happened was when I switched it format-wise, because I was editing it at first at this size, and I was switching it over to this size because I can get this size a lot cheaper. Sorry, this one's a little beat up. This is my studio copy, and it's been dropped and thrown and referenced quite a bit. But this size I can get a lot cheaper, which means I can keep the price cheaper for you. And what happened is while I was fixing that, a whole section got deleted, and I missed it. So I'm like, boy, I thought I wrote more on this and started rewriting it. I found an old copy. Excuse my hiccups. As I was trying to get printed off, my wife had the old copy. So I found the section. So now I have to sort of card splice it in and do a whole bunch more diagrams. But after that, it's done. We're looking at splice that in, check for readability, some more diagrams. I do my glossary. I do my table of contents. And then I'm out to figuring out how I want the cover to look. That's delightful. So I'm going to have a very busy weekend, hopefully, working on that. I also, totally off topic, but it's really cool. If you follow me on any of my social media, I don't think it's on my Instagram because the square format hit, but on Twitter, right here at @ntalkert, or on Facebook, please follow me on Twitter if we've got like a public relationship, because I'm starting to get a lot of people where I can't see my relatives, so I may have to cull Facebook a bit. But I went down to the Benton County Public Library, where this summer I've both done a pirate presentation, did some sword fighting and wonderful stuff. And, excuse me, my war scythe is trying to get in the way. And I had done an art program, and I had taken a picture of every kid who wanted a picture, and the picture that I drew for them. So I spent 4 hours doing portraits, kind of anime or whatever the kids want. Kids have a lot of creativity. Well, the library made a whole wall, and I got to get my picture next to this whole wall of pictures I did. And it really reminded me that, though it seems humble, I may be doing some good in this world. And I hope you can find a way to do good in the world where you are. Now, we'll hit through the comments. We'll talk about why I'm holding this little tiny stick, because I got a message from a viewer, a fan, and just incredible guy, Johnny Cage. And I want to get into that, but it required more dexterity than still images and conversation would give easily. So I'm going to go through the comments. Let's see. We were right there. You'll get there. Thank you. And some person, great to hear from you. Hello, person. Go get Small Arms, Simple Sword, and Fighting Axe. Yes, Small Arms is a novella in my Big Snumpy Robots series. Really great, quick read of a little bit of intrigue, a little bit of horror, and a whole lot of a man who was in the wrong place at the wrong time and nearly starts the next Megacorp war. It's good. I enjoyed writing it. I enjoy reading it. And I intend to do more with that series once I'm done with this. Oh my gosh. I'm just so excited because I'm seeing the finish line. We're doing mostly well today. Physical therapy again today. Cool. I'm continuing my physical therapy with my favorite training tool, my 3-pound sledge. Doing slow, mini, just lots of reps to get the strength back. And that's all that we can do, folks. Give me just a second. I think it's pretty cool that I went from having to earn the right to have the squeezy square, which, believe it or not, I still use to get my grip back, to doing slow work with the 3-pound sledge to slowly build my arms back to something functional. Now, I was supposed to have a huge deal Friday where we were going to do last Friday where we were going to do a demo with Shakespeare in the Park with the Gary Shakespeare Company, but that got rained out. I'm still waiting for confirmation. It could be next Friday, and if that's the case, if that gets canceled, if that doesn't get canceled, and we go up for that, we will record the show because I'm not sure how good the internet is up there. And you'll get to watch our program that we put on with me and Trey and Joey and anybody else I can get who's competent enough to fight in public in a safe manner. And we'll talk about sword fighting, and then we'll see how the actual show goes. But we got some more comments. This is wonderful. Small Arms, the art of T-Rex fighting. New haircut. What? Wow. Okay, hold on. I got to get back because I'm losing something. Catch the Historical Fencing Guild at 7 p.m. Friday on Central and 8 p.m. for us Eastern types. Right here. Subscribe here, folks. Yay for done. I am so close. I can taste it. And because my beloved wife works, that's Amanda. Y'all know her. Works today, not today, Saturday. It's her Saturday. One Saturday a month she covers at the library. She's the director of the library. And that means I'll have a morning where I get up early because we get up together usually. My little man's going to be asleep, and maybe I can fire off the rest of this. I'm so excited. I want to say it'll be done this weekend, but I don't know if I'm comfortable saying that. That being said, Patreon members, feel free to check my progress. The link is in the Patreon where you get the secret backdoor link to look at what I'm doing. Now, let's see. Thesis says, doing good. I just started or restarted season 3 of Teen Wolf last night. I would probably be further along if there weren't more hours in the day and I didn't need any of that pesky sleep. Teen Wolf is a lot of fun. You have to give me a bit of gap when you ask about Teen Wolf, because my wife Amanda, whom I love, spoke on Teen Wolf, and I love lycanthropes. I write horror just a little bit. I have some urban fantasy stuff that never got published because your first book is something that usually shouldn't be. But my wife wrote Koi Wolf, which is a lycanthropic book set in New Orleans. And Teen Wolf was very big, but she also read me all these fan fiction things because we do that. We read things to each other. And so I have lost track of what's canon and what's not. I just think Styles is a far better character than most people give him credit for. Peter bit the wrong teenager. And the great Lydia or Malia debate is one of those that can rage for the end of time. People who know. If not, just ignore my fanning out. I'm up to 40 pounds on 8 machines. Go you, Foxy. We're all about building each other up here and getting where we can do more. I'm still drilling daily. Basically, I had to take a day off because of some soreness with the polypropylene rapiers, which are a low cost. And at 40, at 49, they're a little higher than I'd like, but they're lightweight. And with the neuropathy, I can make them work again, which means sword fighting is going from something I'm working toward to something I'm doing. And that's the big steps we always want to work forward. New haircut, whether it is or not, it's looking good. Thank you, Johnny Cage. Yes, it is. A couple days ago, most people don't see my hair at all because I usually wear a bandana because it's usually so hot in here. But my bandana is actually wrapped up in my new garb, which I'm planning to give you guys a little preview of. So I'll be leaving the camera for a moment to go grab it because I forgot it. But I need to talk to Johnny while he's here, and I want to go through the comments. Woo! Small arms, the art of T-Rex fighting. Yes, I do love that too, and I love me some dinosaurs, but I have small arms, so yeah, it fits. That one actually is not Guild. That's fun. I need to get one of my copies. The problem is every time I order an author copy or two to keep around the house, somebody either buys it from me or borrows it, and I don't get it back. Which tells me it's a good book. Although Eyes to the Skies will always have a special place. LOL. Rawr, dang, can't reach it. Working on the Siege rewrite. It's moving along. Yes, can't wait to see that. And Cindy, when everything's ready and that's up in the air, we need to get you on my other show, Never Mind the Furthermore, which is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, for those of you who don't know, on the Nicholas Tucker YouTube channel. I try to keep the Historical Fencing Guild channel on topic. The Nicholas Tucker channel, good luck. Lately, it's been a lot of my morning show that I inherited from Brian K. Morris. He's not dead. He just retired and gifted me with it. And there's going, especially come winter, there's some amazing things planned for that channel. But okay. So close you can taste it. Shall I make the joke? I probably shan't, but will I? Who knows? Where in Patreon does the link hide? It's in one of the cyber tactos a while back, and I will just reshare the link. Time to get another note. Let's see. Where's my notepad? Hello, notepad. Oh, there's a picture. Happy little gobbo girl. Cool. Anyway, note to self. See, I take notes. Relink doc in Patreon. I will do that, and it'll be up there once it's finished. Of course, everyone will have the option to buy it through Amazon because that's where I tend to sell my books, and I will get author copies to sell at programs and things. Awesome. You will. And for the record, paper doesn't taste great. No, but has a place. Around 4 or 5 years ago, I started watching, got halfway through the second part of season 3, and then just stopped. It can be rough. I understand. And Cindy's encouraging Foxy. Whoop. I think that 30 might be my limits, not to hurt myself further. That's awesome. Nothing wrong with knowing your limits. Okay, we don't all have to be superheroes. Like I said, I do almost any weight work I do with this custom exercise tool because I believe there are few problems in the world a 3-pound sledge can't, solve. They exist, but they're few and far between. And if you have enough creativity, I can solve most of the world's problems. with free travel and a 3-pound sledge. Well, food and travel, you know. And yes, my hair shrunk. I finally got the it's too hot to stand. And I've kind of got my old school Doctor Strange, Mr. Fantastic gray showing. And I'm okay with that because I've earned it. My wife is very proud of the gray because she believes she put it there. But yes, I have significantly less. Stellari chips are ordered. When I get them, I'll get the Kickstarter prepped and launched. Awesome. I just tried a little at 50 and noped out. Nothing wrong with that. What you want to do is find your point of failure, step back, and somewhere between your point of comfort and your point of failure, do lots of slow repetitions at your point, at that midpoint. That's the point of progress where you feel it, but you're not overtaxing. That's why I'm working with this 3-pound sledge, because I can put a sword grip on it, go through my drills very, very slowly, remind the nerves and muscles how that works, and get things going. So working on the 40 and stamina, just go there. There's nothing wrong with that. Sneaks into the back of the room, grabs a chair, acts like he's been here the whole time. Great to see you, Joe. Hit me up if the program is the 19th or not, because folks are excited. I'm up to 70 on the hamstring curls, 60 on the chest press, and 200 on the leg press. Get those gains, Thesis, and Foxy is passing Joe a snack tray like nothing happened. Frog G is hailing all of us on all channels. Good evening, Frog G, the master of motivational disaster. Always good to see you. Thesis, you'll have to let us see the chips when they are done, Cindy. I'm looking forward to seeing my designs on something. Awesome. Go Thesis. Hi, Foxy. Everybody's greeted. Okay, now I was talking to our good friend, Johnny Cage. And I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a very satisfying swip. This is a 1/4-inch balsa wood. He's greeting Frog. That's where the G came from. Oh, okay. So Shakespeare is formally canceled. Okay, that's fine. Now I'll stop worrying about it. The garb looks amazing. We'll make another event. And, if the guild can do an event like that without the Shakespeare Company, reach out. I know the guild master. He's a good guy. But, sorry, it's been a long week on the job site. Vent, my friend. You're among people. And Joe is one of the local sword fighters. His wife is basically the greatest student I've ever had and my successor should anything go wrong. But this is a 1/4-inch balsa wood. Or is it balsa? It's poplar. Anyway, I use these to make the wooden Big Stompy Robots mini-size strip. I wanted this because our friend Johnny shared a picture of a very narrow sword, which was really, really cool for a character he's designing. And what I saw, I want to talk about sword grips because this is important. Let me see. Can I angle that a bit? Oh, yes, you're seeing some of the mess. Okay, that's better. Now, when you have a narrow grip, if you put it back here, your hands don't do this. They wrap tighter, so you get this almost round grip. But if it's cocked back, you see what happens? The cantilever effect happens on your fingers. And I'm using an extreme example because this is very, very narrow, even for a grip, and it's not terribly comfortable. Let me do that. Okay, there we go. So I had to take a little pressure off the wrist because of my nerve damage. So why is this important to fencers? Because this is a keyhole grip, or this is a keyhole grip. When you have a sword, this is my favorite sword. I love this sword. I know it's not fancy. It's actually quite silly to some people, but it's my favorite sword. Anyhow, see that? That's a keyhole grip. Let me get you all up in there, right? Now, if I hold it straight out with the way this grip is aligned, it keeps it at a very good fighting angle, right? This works. Lightweight, still use it. Let me go here. And I'm doing this so you can see the more squared off grip, the more what we call an ice pick or a hammer grip. But if I go here, I have extension. If I go here, I'm locked. So I'll block with this and extend. So when I hit, I don't hit to here. I hit and follow through. And what that does forward is it bends the hand. But backward, to cock it, which it's hard to do with a Julian right here, it pushes these fingers out a bit. And I want to talk about that because what we do here in part is discuss sword fighting in media. And even in the simple sword, I really didn't get, because I didn't have a way to express it yet, into the finer, let me move my camera some more, into the finer angles of grip. But being able to do this, and you can tell I've been fencing for a long time because there's actually, you can see the musculature that's still there from simply doing shots for a very long time. Because my wrist is here. This is a knot of tendon and muscle that's been doing this forever, okay? Boom. That rises a bit. But when you have something that's narrow, so let me get sword closer to the grip she was holding. Because she was holding an open grip. And these are live steel, friends. And I admit that. But I'm a trained swordsman. I've been teaching people to sword fight for 20 years. YouTube, don't come at me. Nobody is fighting or damaged. And I'm being very, very careful. Live steel, you know, the best a poor college student could buy. So you have this. Again, I'll bring the grip here. All right. Whoops. Having some camera issues. But boom, boom. You see that? So I can get, by keeping it loose, if it's this angle. So you guys see this. Tell me how many times you see this in art. Hold on. I want to sheath it so I don't cut myself. Respect. This. Now look what happens. See how the hand loosens? Even if you could bend the wrist, it's not a comfortable bend. It's much easier to loosen your grip like this and have it stack. And then, and I got to do it slow so I don't shoot my sheath. That. All done by adjusting the grip. I'm keeping my wrist locked. So this is, yes, biometrics. I hope this is helpful, Johnny. Because when you think of a draw, okay, a draw, watch what happens here. If I'm drawing from the hip, it still comes out loose. The hand loosens, the keyhole clears, and then the grip rotates and switches to this stance, which is basically what you'd see. These are things people don't think about in classic training. I'm being caught by my own overlay here. So what we're going to do, because I'm doing a lot of demo stuff, I'm just going to drop my overlay. You guys know who I am. And then it comes out. Okay. Side draw does the same thing. It's not as intense, but it tightens as it launches. So that adds a snap of power to your shot. Another point that I don't talk about enough, and most people don't talk about, is watch how I sheathe. I don't blind sheathe. I use tacto, the same thing we use to track and feel our opponent's weapon sense. The information that comes from holding the blade, I draw it out along, and then I know I'm lined up, and then I go. Now, I'm trying to talk about it while doing it, which always makes it a little more awkward. I really should take some toothpaste and polish this up again. But keeping these things in mind when the sheath fits the hand. Because this sheath, the hilt fits the hand. This hilt fits my hand pretty well. And I get a very masculine-looking fist, and that's another point. For this hand to be comfortable, because as a bit of genetic WTF-ery, this is a male fist. Let me pull this in. And there are, okay, before I get into this, I had a mild accusation that I was somehow anti-trans or something. I am not. Never think I'm saying that. I am saying that the skeletal proportions of most men and most women work a little different. That's different than gender. Okay, so we're not touching that too hard. I'm just saying that and getting on with the commentary. When a man makes a fist, the fist is very square. You see that? The knuckles all fall in line. The tendons are all lined up. It looks like this. When a woman makes a fist, it looks like this. It is angled. Okay? Now, 5% of men have female fists, 5% of women have male fists. But if you're training a female fighter, especially, traditional hits have to be thrown a little different. The grip has to be different, or it can be extremely painful. Likewise, a more advanced technique, and I'll just use this light stick where if I had a shield, okay, I have a shield. Okay, I needed something to proxy a shield, and my stand for my tablet will do. If I do a wrap shot, which comes behind the opponent's head and hits them when I'm facing them, so borrowing the fez for a moment here, actually, no, I'm not going to do this to the fez. That could infer things. Johnny Freaking Cage says, never anti-trans, just anti-psi specifically from time to time. Because psi, as a person, can be a pain in the butt, and they know it, and I hold them accountable for it. Okay, there we go. Boom. Okay, so I'm looking at Not Bob. Boom. Okay? This motion is made possible by the way the tendons allow your hand to rotate, very fluid. That's why certain types of belly dance moves, motions in the hand, are they're a lot easier for a lady to learn than a man. It's part of the reason many men are attracted to women because of the way they move. Now, what does that have to do with anything? Well, understanding that means if I grip this, it looks like this. If I grip that, it looks like, hold on, let me get comfortable, that. The difference is small, but it's very apparent to people who know, especially when you start looking at the angle of orientation. So let me hold this out. That's comfortable here. That's comfortable here. You see, it's about a 15-degree angle. So that's going to happen. Now, this I can whack with just this. Bam. And yes, I practice wrap shots very slowly with my 3-pound sledge. But it's actually, if I try to do it male-handed, and I have to actually change my angle, you see how it sort of ratchets at the end? I have to fight the flow of my tendons, and I have to adjust my grip very differently for that wrap shot. That's why for men, it's a advanced style, and for women, it comes much more naturally. And I'm only going on this because as there are artists among us who are incredibly talented and they understand anatomy very well. And there are artists who don't. And then there are artists who understand anatomy that's stationary but not moving. And Johnny is one of the best artists I've ever seen. I'm not going to lie. The man's phenomenal. And I want to help him be better. And it overlaps with what we do here, which is help people who have sword-related questions and comments. Another thing he asked me about was the sword that she had. And I'm not going to bring it up because it is a private image. You know, I don't want to unveil anything. But give me a moment here because I need to find... Okay. I have to move some weapons. Why do you have so many weapons? Because I'm a sword master, and sword masters have weapons. This dude, here we go. Okay, this dude, and I'm sure there was another one that was easier to reach, is a ornamental foil. It was given to me by one of my students, Pete Pidrak, as a service. This has a constant taper. What I mean is the weapon starts out relatively wide, and I'm going to level it where you guys can see it. Okay. You know what? I realize right now, if I try to do that, it will glitch. So we'll go with this for now. But as it progresses, I need a fixed measurement here. You know, if I had my assorted tape measures, it would be much easier. But of course, I don't have a logical tape measure. So let's find an illogical tape measure. We're Americans. We can measure with anything that is the metric system. Okay, so you can barely see the battery, right? Well, you won't be able to see the battery. There, we'll do that so it shows. Now watch what happens. Do you see that it's a constant narrowing? Okay? I'm not doing anything tricky sliding the battery around. If I go back, the battery will disappear. That is doable for a light, flexible weapon. The only reason I could try. I just don't want to risk crashing my stream. Well, let's see. If I crash my stream, you guys will forgive me. Go there. We'll move this to a window. No, well, that works too. Move tab to new window. There we go. Go there. Go here. And I have to fix this up while we're here, but I'm working on that now. Okay. We are almost there. If I can get it to work. No, I don't want my antivirus. I'm not worried about my antivirus right now. I know where I am. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so we go there. Now we go share. Share screen. Sorry, I have to talk through it or I lose track of what I am doing. So there. We'll share that. Alrighty, so this is the character that Johnny sent me. And there were two comments that I discussed. The first, because what he wanted to know was the thickness of the blade. I told him the thickness of the blade is fine because if you look at roughly her hand, it's better than her thumb's width, better than her finger's width again. So it's thicker than this and then long. The only trick, it flares out a bit like a feather. It's attractive. And then it narrows in a straight taper. So it has a little diamond. Let me see if that format won't work. That's fine. We'll switch this out later. Yes. Okay, cool. So there's a little diamond. So this is going to be grotesquely exaggerated, but it's what I've got. The taper, the base taper is still continuous, right? That is good. That can work. It keeps it very light, keeps the balance. This is a light thrusting weapon. I don't know anything about the character, but it's really got a good curl. She could theoretically get a keyhole grip under that spike, but it works. Okay. The only thing is it's a little hard to see. Now, you don't usually see a full taper like that. That's not going to show it well. Oh, I know what will show it. This is, here. What you usually see is something closer like this, where it's very straight and then has a taper at the end. You can have a distal taper where it widens and then comes down. But oftentimes, because the tip, when it's that sharp, is incredibly fragile. Usually. Now, if there's any trace of magic in your universe, you're fine and dandy. The only other thing is it can be a little hard to see as you're drawing it, swishing it around. Still, I love this character and I love this design. And even more, I love this opportunity to talk about both somebody I like's work, being Johnny, and how to deal with the, I don't want to say historical inaccuracies, because that's not quite right, but the logistics of fixing things. So I hope this really helps out Johnny and helps out anybody who's an artist and has, crossed the wires a bit to get here. Okay. So we'll put that back. What are you? Oh, you're the axe. And Oh, good. I found my notes for my buddy Mike Jimmy Lorsha DeBron. I want to enunciate his name right, but we're gonna just go here. And that way, I'm going to look to see if I missed any questions that people had. And if we do, we'll go there. But let's see. Boom. We had a comment dump, which I expected. All righty. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, we gotta see. Hales. Sounds like a popular choice. A polar choice. Yeah, it's a popular choice too. But I use these to make the wooden miniatures that I sell based on the techniques I've done since I was a very poor boy making miniatures out of fireworks sticks. Unfortunately, the pick didn't fit right and I'm out of daylight. I need to get this chip out very soon. So I went with a text-only chip. Sorry to hear that, but these things happen. And I have a new comment dump. Yes. All right. I did hear a good line on the job site today, but I won't type it out in this chat. Thank you. I do try to keep this relatively safe. Sounds like a popular choice. It is. And Joe's thanking Foxy for the snack tray. Welcome. Johnny's taking notes. Good. Oh, biometrics. Yes. Your thesis makes a great point. Your grip will change depending on what type of sword you're using and which school. My grip is vastly different with a Jin than a Dao. While it is not the one-to-one parity, and I don't have my Daos here, but let's get another handled object up here that I can use to show you grips. As a rule, a cutting blade, a heavier hacking blade. Where did that thing go? Oh, it's down with the other trainers. Shoot. Anyway, you're going to get the hammer grip. Okay, you're going to get the ice pick grip. Bam. Ice pick usually refers to the downward stabbiness, but we don't need to go there right now. So, yeah, here we go. I'm overthinking it. Handy dandy little axe, one of several around here. I'll leave it in the sheath for safety. Let me get it in the normal hand. Ice pick grip. This hammer grip. Hammer. Donk. Right? Now, if I were to wield this more like I wield a knife, so let's pull out this. This is my happy little Bar Raz. Wonderful people. If you get a chance to follow Bar Raz, look them up. Anyway, this lovely knife, I fall naturally into a classic knife fighter's or sword fighter's grip. Thumb on the spine, very thrust oriented, like that. The weapon that wants to behave a certain way, if it's made right and balanced right and fitted to you, you will find that it fits what you're trying to do with it. The shank goes into classic shank position. But if I want to knife it, make with the stabby death gets more down. It's that hammer grip again. Understanding how your grip affects your weapon. Why am I not worried about fancy grips on this other than this? I like this with the knife because it gives me. Okay, let me angle the camera again. One more time. Here we go. It gives me the difference from my end point is here to my end point is here. And you'll notice this is designed for that, to train in that motion. The thumb is the jimping at the thumb sets it so that I can go bonk. Very nice. If I look at my actual knife, this is my EDC knife. I can hammer grip it, okay? But it's happier here. You see the change again? Hammer grip, happy. That 45-degree angle. I made this to be a trainer for this because CRKT doesn't make training knives of their minimalist line yet. Hound them, tell them I sent you. Maybe someday they'll send me one. But understanding that helps you. That's one way I can pick up any weapon and usually be able to make it go. It may not be the given style, friends, and that's okay. But I can make it go, and that's what matters. Okay, that's the old dead telephone line. That's what that box is. Anyhow. So I hope that's helpful for the people, for Johnny and other people asking about grips and things. Let's see what else is coming down the pipe, because I'm about 20 minutes behind on the comments. And depending on what your hand size is, absolutely. If you're holding, I have held swords that feel like I'm holding my big bottle. And, I actually get an exaggerated swordsman's grip. If you look at it, it's the same thing to get hold of it. But I grab it with this hand, and it's an exaggerated hammer grip. Isn't that interesting? Shoot your sheath sounds rather bad if you don't see the sword. Exactly. Wudong grip is different from my mantis. That's yes. And don't forget the likes and all that. Please don't, because I'm trying to get good, lighthearted education without judgment out there for everybody. I specialize in trying to help people with either, difficult finances, as I find the marker that would have been perfect for demonstrating all this stuff. But out there, I'm fighting the algorithm. YouTube doesn't like my channel because I get a little too Second Amendment, because I think everybody should be able to carry a knife. In fact, I believe every adult in America should basically be carrying a knife unless they are mentally unsafe to do so. And everyone should be trained in their use, both as a tool and as a defensive object. You mean weapon, right? Yeah, but weapon has connotations. That's why I say a defensive object. Okay? That gets me in trouble. They try to throttle me down. I promote Patreon. I promote other people's Patreons. I promote my books. That gets me algorithmically punished. So I really need all your help to get the word out there. And we have another comment dump. Wow. And it's a good one. Okay, cool. Never anti-trans, just anti-size from time to time. Only with size being a pain, just like I give Woodrow all sorts of heck. But I love them both. They're great people. And Lord knows I miss the heck out of the whole Red Valkyrie crew. So love to Shay and love to Luke Agliata, who aren't streaming right now because they have some stuff coming up. I seem to have one of each. Many of my students do. Well, they did kill you several times, Johnny. And that's go figure. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him well, Horatio. Man of infinite jest. Yes, lots of alas, poor Yoricks. YouTube does not like you much tonight, Frog. Is YouTube giving Frog problems? Oh, yeah, it is. It's messing with you. Yeah, I think Frog's getting throttled probably because he does all the kind promotions like Cindy does. So both support CindyCap at www.ckoepp.com and Frog G on Indiegogo September 17th. Frog G, Voodoo Gods, and Magic. That's totally off what this channel's about, but I'm plugging them because they're just that good of people. And I can show it. Oh, never mind. Now you can kill it. I see. Now you can kill it yourself. How many ferrets? Metric ferrets or in imperial? Some person says, I prefer lark's tongues personally. Is that lark or larkin? There's a fairly obscure reference that I could get in trouble for, but we may know each other better than I thought. Anyhow, thank you very much. No, it really is my pleasure. I literally live for people to bring comments or questions like that to this show so that I can pull out props and talk through and gesture grandly and make the points across. Anything people have about what a weapon is or how it's wielded or would this work or that, it makes better media, which makes better fighters, which makes people, it just, everything benefits from it. Here we use imperial, but I'm decent in metric too. I can work in metric, but I was trained to think and estimate in imperial, so it gets a little rough. I used to be better with grams and cooking than I am right now because it's been a long time since I've been in a professional kitchen. I can do very rough conversions in my heads. Y'all measurement systems elude me on an unholy level. Yup. I don't blame you, Johnny. If you ever have questions that Google doesn't answer, we'll try. Yeah, that's what we're about here, folks. And wow, that was awesome. That really just made my night, guys. I appreciate that. I need a drink for just a second. But I promised you guys a preview of the garb, and I'm going to go get it. It'll be just a second. Lydia, where's... Yes, Lydia. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Lydia. Wow. Dramatic much? That's the noisiest way to take a coffee break. Anyway, Lydia is taking a coffee break now. Heard of a scientist that was frozen to absolute zero. He's okay now. 0 Kelvin. Snickers. Yes. This is my new garb. And it doubles as being very handy for the safety dance. My wife made this lovely vest for me. I repaired my psychic damage frog. Anyway, this is just broadcloth right now. Nothing very fancy, but it's got a full D-ring adjustability in the back for weight gain and loss. Got my gloves. These are actually welder's gloves that I got. They're a little thick in the hand, but they work well enough. People asked, where's my headband? Well, my headband, at least this one, has been incorporated. You guys know this. And we'll talk a bit about my gorget. So we're going to put that down, drop everything, set that there. That's a really dangerous place for that, but we'll work on that. There's a sheath for my rapiers. This is my gorget. I've shown it on pictures, but I realize I haven't talked about it much. Gorgets are important. Okay, so I'm going to put it on because a gorget will save your bacon. You may notice sometimes I speak extra crunchy. That's twofold. I had several severe GERD issues. I also took a devastating shot to the throat on top of a hernia. This prevents that from ever happening again. And what it does, this protects my throat. When I've got a hood under it that comes up here, it protects the underside of my mouth, my jaw. It keeps my arteries from getting sniped. So, because extreme pressure to an artery or vein, so your carotid and jugulars can actually knock somebody out. Importantly, on the back is plating that goes down. It covers my cervical vertebrae. That's the top 7. Why? Well, remember that wrap shot we were talking about? Wrap shots could hit and damage very easily, as could a blow from behind or a shield blow as you're coming down. There are a lot of ways, and that's very fragile. Broken necks and death could occur. So gorgets are very important. You want to buy a good one that fits. My old sword instructor, Dennis Yakus, made this originally, and I then upgraded it with the plating. That's why they're a much heavier grade of rivets on the side. Now, this is water-hardened leather, which is not as stiff as wax-hardened leather, but wax-hardened leather gets much more malleable in the heat, obviously, and it also can break easier. It's more brittle. So water-hardened leather, or oil hardened leather. Like this lasts longer. Inside is closed cell foam, and you can see the rivet holes from where I added old style copper rivets to hold the plates on. The plates here are actually construction parts. They were the plates that join boards that are butted together and have the little spikes. I cut the spikes off and I used the rivets and burrs to set these. These are not the finest hand-peened rivets, but they are hand-peened rivets. A couple of them could have used more work, and I might just come back one day with a ball peen hammer and repair them if my hands are ever up to it. But this covers the top of my spine. This covers the front of my neck. It gives me good side protection. And combined with the bib of my mask is actually very safe and a crucial part of my armor. Now, I can wear my plastron between the shirt and the vest, and it's mostly covered up for show use, so it's not as obvious that I'm wearing that. With the mask, it works really well. Assuming I wear a cup, everything is very, very, very protected. And it's important to know your gear. Let's see. From all my friends all over the world, they say Americans are the only ones who measure distance in time instead of kilometers. Yes, we do. It's weird. It's what makes us Americans. Highway time. Oh, because I am about 45 minutes north of Lafayette. Snazzy. Thank you, Cindy. Well, when you can travel 8 or more hours and still be in the same state. Hey, I've crossed Texas. I understand this. Oh, anyone who hasn't, please go check out a YouTuber named Stephen He. Then you will know the emotional damage that Foxy and I use daily. Absolutely, I love Stephen He's work. Not martial arts in any way, shape, or form, but if you had strict parents, it will radiate with your soul. We got another comment dump. That's tricky. Let's see. He's brilliant. No, Nick. Bacon comes from the belly. Brisket comes from the throat. Thank you. Looks thick enough. Can I borrow that? I had to lead a herd of sheep out of the woods today, and I happened to be shirtless. I'm still pulling thorns out of my back. Johnny, if you were closer to me, I would hook you up. Okay? We would armor you up in we can make a rig. You know what? You tell me what kind of resources you have, and we'll talk you through making some simple armor to prevent that from happening. I'm not even kidding. Oh, wow. That is the next thing I need to order, along with a mask. Okay, Joe, you're local. I have leather scraps. We might be able to work something out, especially if you can get a couple buckles and possibly buy some rivets. I may have to talk you through because I don't know what my hands will do with it. But between you and Trey, we could get you gorget made. And if not, getting thick leather from Tandy's is a wonderful thing. Oh, I just got the notice that I am streaming. Only 50 minutes in. Yay. Need a friend to pluck him, Johnny? I'm shocked because Johnny's a dang good-looking man, and I'm comfortable enough in myself to say it. I have seen him. He's drop dead gorgeous. I need to just make a list of gear I need to order still, LOL. Okay, not a problem. And I forget you're at the situation where you have money, not time, so that works. Having to do it blindly sure isn't easy, Foxy. We need to get some pretty little thing to help Johnny, or 2 or 3. We tend to measure in time rather than distance because even though I only live 20 miles from the south side of Chicago, and it only takes 20 minutes on a good day, yeah, we have to check the traffic as we go because it can be totally different. Having been in similar situations in the past, I empathize. That's nice of you. It can still take more upwards of 2 hours to get there with traffic. Yes. How far away is Walmart? Which one? 25 minutes if you go out of state, roughly 25, 30 if you go north, 45 if you go south, and there are 2 or 3 if you go within an hour south, depending on what's going on. How far away is Walmart? Well, around 10 minutes start from where you start from. It's fine. We got leather clothing just for that. It wasn't planned, but the dude needed help, and I happened to be there, so I just wasn't ready. That's because you're a good man, Johnny Cage, and I don't care what anybody says. I fixed it. And what you do unprepared often is a show of what kind of person you are, and that's why it really is my privilege to try to help you and try to promote your stuff as much as humanly possible. And Foxy says, Foxy, we're about 5 minutes from the end of the broadcast. So let me think. What else is coming down the pipe? Foxy grew up on farmland too, not sheep, but thankfully we did have cattle. That's a lot to keep track of. I grew up more in a boggy woods up in the hills south of Michigan City, which is, if you look at the map of look at the map of the United States, you're going to see Lake Michigan looks like a phallus pointed straight down, like it's going to take a leak on the top of Indiana. Basically, where the Lake Michigan is peeing on is where I grew up. I love sheep, but they aren't the smartest animal around. Started helping herd them when I was 7, and see, I can fix that because I speak typo. Alrighty. So from my end, the simple spear, hopefully, knock on wood. I'll have the draft done this weekend, and then I can start fighting the Amazon submission process, which can take anywhere from a few minutes to a few days. Anybody who's dealt with KDP knows that. Then I'll be taking a break on manual work, and I'll be writing a whole lot of fiction. I'm going to be doing I have a short story to write for Luke. Well, actually a comic book script to write for Luke Stone, as well as a couple other pieces for some other special projects related to hybrids. We're going to go through, there's more editing to be done and stuff, possibly on the Hybrids RPG. I have Big Stompy Robot stories in progress. That's right, stories, plural. I have some game design projects I want to do. Dusk Falls over Ravencleft Gorge. I want to write that up, but I've delayed it because I've decided that I'm going to take the hybrids, the base +2 engine I'm doing for Lockdown Games, and I am going to make a fantasy version of it. Once I make a fantasy version of it, I will then be doing some things to convert all the characters and everything I did for the first season of Dice Dudes and Dames to Lockdown to make it compatible. It will be cross-patable reasonably well with 5th edition. I don't want to call it compatible, but adjustable. So that's coming down the pipe. And I have been neglecting doing art like way too much. And I need to get my mojo back. So people following me on my DA site got to see this little girl I did talking to Luke. Nobody except for the folks here have seen this one, because we need more Gabo girls. And I don't know, do you guys think I should color her or put her up and just leave her in black and white? I'll take your credit for. And I need to do more things like that. So there's a lot of fun stuff coming for me as we get towards the fall, when again I get to be more active. I have a lot of videos I want to shoot. It's just been, unsafe temperature, and with my nerves, unsafe to do it. So good things are coming. Let's see what else is going. I have to rewind a bit. I helped corral a couple of ponies before my allergies told me no more of that. I miss horses sometimes. My grandpa had horses, and I have a respect for them. Not a fear, but I don't also worship them either. Go Nick, go Nick! Yes, I'm very excited. A lot of work, but it's going to be worth it. Bet you could do it now, Thesis. Your allergies are way better. Moved here when I was 9, and I still don't fit in right. Grandpa has forgotten more about this life than I'll ever know. That's the job of a grandpa, Johnny. And it's hard for us because the artist types and creators I find never quite fit in where we are. That liminality, because liminal is one of my favorite words, right up there with bailiwick, uh, is what allows us to do what we do and to tell the stories we do. So don't be afraid to talk about that too. Take that perspective you have. There's a wealth of depth that can come from what you take as your normal day to day that people on the other side of the world can't imagine. I had a very similar conversation with Pedro Ang. Um, Tell your stories because people want to know them, not just the awesome superheroes and incredibly busty women that you usually draw. Horses are divas. Absolutely. Horses are definitely divas. My wife, she was a show writer for a very long time. And we love horses, but yeah, take your time, Nick. Your health is more important than the video. Thank you. And that's basically what I've had to learn in this sort of life arc of the adventures of Nick is to not be doing. This has been very difficult for me because I'm an active. If I'm not useful, I don't feel I have value. I literally assign my self worth by how useful I am at the given moment. It's very dangerous, but it's also very true. I never fit in where I was born either, hence why I live 1,000 miles away now. I found I don't fit in anywhere, but I can be. I don't fit in someplace, but I can be anywhere and not fit in just about equally. I'm just passing through this life. I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing because it's not mine to know. Johnny had a horse named Pegasus because Saint Seiya is the best, and I miss him very dearly. Oh, I love that. One, call back to classic anime. Two, you have my condolences because things like that are always it's always there, isn't it? And I'm right there with you, Nick. Learning my new self hasn't been easy and it's a work in progress. Same here. I have to remind myself that about 2 years ago, I was on crutches because my legs were failing and no one knew why. And I could make it with tremendous effort from the bed to the bathroom to the couch. And we were literally sizing up my house to get a hole cut in one of the closets to get a elevator lift so that when I'm in a wheelchair, I have access to both floors so that they could, we could clear out the garage and I could roll in, roll up the wheelchair and come up and not need the stairs. And I have delayed that. It's still a reality and I know it. I'm delaying a degenerative condition. Several actually. Uh, they found some stuff in at least one of my eyes, for example, that I have to watch because, yay, I could go blind. But that's part of why I drive so hard because I won't get the opportunity to be as useful as I am now. And I can't work in a normal place, nor can I receive benefits currently because I'm in that lovely loophole. And I'm just trying to take care of my kid. Sorry, I got a little personal there, and I don't normally, but when I look back at the recent journey, it is both a triumph and a tragedy that I'm still doing despite, blowing the doctor's minds. But it's still a battle. And I, one day at a time. Yeah. Every once in a while, I have to tell myself, no, you can't do that anymore, or yet. And that's what I'm finding out. That's why I'm not using real weights. I'm using this little dude. That's why, even though I use that little dude, Booby the Squeezy Square, still gets used. I still have to do my occupational therapy. I still have to limit how much I type and write, which slows me down. But being slow is much different than being stalled, and being stalled is much different than stopping. And as people who have physical limitations, because guess what? We all will. We'll all age, except Johnny, because Johnny's a freaking vampire and we love him. A few other people I know who I'm pretty sure are immortal. We accept it and we look at it with knowledge. We enjoy the ability to do what needs done with the appreciation that it is fleeting. And I am only on this earth for so long. So I try to do the most good I can with what time I have to both bring some information, some education, and some joy. And that's why I write. That's why I draw, because everything I get out there, everything that gets out of my head has a much longer lifespan, potentially, than that which just remains locked up, imprisoned. So while this is a somber note, we do need to keep that in mind. You've come a bloody long way from all that. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. And bless you for noticing that, Johnny. But it's been a fight, and it's a fight every day. And that's all we can do. You know, my family has a saying: as long as there is life, keep charging the enemy. And that's what we do. So I hope it is of service to you guys. Let's see what else we have before I wrap the show up. I found out that I'm prone to narrow angle glaucoma. Well, I'm sorry. I hope you can. I know there's surgical solutions, isn't there? After both my grandmother, aunt, and mother all had surgery for it, I'm like, thanks for letting me know. Yeah, my mom had one leg shorter than the other, and she didn't tell me till I was in my 20s, and I had dislocated most of my spine. It happens, but you're doing better, and you're doing something about it. We all do. All we can do. I'm sorry, my dyslexia got hold of that. Is take one day at a time and do the best with what we're given on any given day, and be grateful for it. That's the hardest trick. Being earnestly grateful that we are alive, because as long as I'm alive and I can communicate, if it's taps or voices or a smile, as long as I can do something to make the world a little better, a little brighter, there's still some good being done, and that is so important. And I'm going to keep trying to do that till I can't. And then I'll be able to look back on some times like I used to be and like I am now and go, hey, I was something and it did something. And that matters. And I have people, beware nihilists, folks. Before we get into this, I'm getting a little philosophical. Nothing matters. I know atheists and I know nihilists. I can deal with atheists, but I cannot abide a nihilist because I find it lazy. But they say, well, all you do is live this life and then you die. And that's it. If that were the case, which I do not believe, I have both seen and experienced things that make me inclined to disagree mightily. That's without the trappings of faith. But hazarding the theory, if this is all there is, then our obligation as sentient people is to go out and say, if today is the only day that's guaranteed, let's use it to bring good and beauty and love and truth and justice and the things that matter. Because if all I have is today, let me spend it doing the good of mankind. If you're an atheist and you have trouble with that kind of thing, please read Marcus Aurelius. Read The Ethical Atheists. If you're of any other religion and you find trouble making the balance, read them anyway. They've got some good ideas. Philosophy does not need to counter religion. And neither of them, at the end of the day, really should justify you being a dick. And I'm not saying you are, but some people use it, and I cannot stand that either. So, you guys are great, and I mean it. Everybody on my list, on this show, on the other, you're creating, you're supporting, you're building, you're healing, you're growing, you're helping others, even when there's no benefit to you. And that is a powerful, radiant light in a world of darkness. Don't ever hesitate to think that that matters. Never fail to see that your little spark can light up a stadium when it's needed. And keep going, keep striving. And I will keep doing everything I can to help build people up, to help encourage and educate and edutain. And if I can't make you happy, I'll let you cry on my shoulder. I'm mostly water resistant. You know what I mean? And who cares about another stain? We got to be there. So, yeah, my mom's just can stop a bullet. Yeah. Thank you guys for a great show and a great chat. To everyone who catches this in the rerun, 1, please like, share, and subscribe. 2, because I'm trying to get good out there. If you want to support, become a Patreon member. Even $1 a month lets me buy the gear, keep my StreamYard running, things like that. I'm not blowing the money on me. If you really want to donate, I've had some people ask. You can PayPal me at Nicholas Tucker. PayPal.me/Nicholas Tucker if you want to tip me that way. I'm only sharing that because I was asked. And, yep, see? I didn't even have it up. Don't forget to tip your host. If you have it in you, I appreciate it. And if you don't, that's okay. The Historical Fencing Guild. Sorry, I got a little emotional there. And you know what? That is okay. Ooh. Sorry, something got moved where it's not supposed to be because I'm redoing my office in constant flux. The Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe, soon to include the Simple Spear, available through Amazon at www.amazon.com/Nicholas Talkert or /authors/Nicholas Talkert. You'll find me. You can find me on Facebook, but really the best place to contact me is through Twitter at @ntalkert. I'm here every Friday night at 8 p.m. till about 9. I try to keep it an hour. To the people who are worried because they see me sweating and stuff, I have beverage, I have snack. I will take care of myself because I know you guys. Yep, Simple Sword and Fighting Axes. Right there at that link. Here's what I need you to do. Do your drills, okay? Because when you put in the work, you get better. Keep your guard up. That means look around. See the bad guy coming before they realize what you're up to. Be kind to yourself and each other because that's what this world needs. And as always, friends, thank you for supporting your local sword master. I will see you next week here and Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the Nicholas Tucker YouTube channel. I'll be hosting Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m. And on the Luke Stone Studios channel, I will be co-hosting Nerd Bacon Thursdays at 9 a.m. That's Eastern time. Look up to make it local. Be a good Nick and take care of yourself. I will. And until then, I will see you next time. You guys have a blessed night.